Hey, this is Kerry Sullivan with another HowToKickAssInSales.com video, and today is all about falling in love with no. As you all know, I am all about helping you break sales records. And as I have been preaching in a lot of these videos, as you're starting to see, is that conventional wisdom is almost always wrong. And I just finished reading a great book called Going for No. It's a great sales book, and again, conventional wisdom will tell you, always to focus in on the yeses. And in sales, you're always told, okay, what's going to be your quota for the month? How many yeses are you going to get? But instead, what you want to focus in on is the no's. That's right, the no's. When we go out there and we're striving for things, a lot of the time, people aren't prepared for all the no's that they're going to hear and how bad it is. And, I heard an interesting story one time from a guy who was a Mormon. And if you know about the Mormons, they go on their missions and they preach their gospel and their beliefs and everything. And what happened is that he said, before I went out on my mission, was that everyone sat me down. They told me, they're like, oh, people are going to be pissed off at you. They're going to say this, that, and the other thing. But when he went out there and he actually experienced all those no's and that rejection and people yelling at him and everything else, he was like, oh yeah, they told me it was going to be like this. I was ready for that. So that's one of the things, is when you focus in on going for no's in sales, that's when you really are going to take things to the next level. So in this book, I wrote it down here. I'm just going to explain it to you. They talk about the levels of no's and your level and how that's correlated to your success. So here's the first thing. There's level number one, and that's someone who consistently just avoids failure. And that's where most of the people on our planet focus in on, and they focus in on avoiding it. And it's a lot of it's due to our schooling system. We're taught that failure is a bad thing. If you don't get 100, you're an idiot, right? So level number two is you begin to have a willingness for failure, and you begin to see that it's just a byproduct of success in the game and going out there. So that's level two. Then you get into your level three, and this is where less than 5% of the people out there fall. And it's ironic because, again, top 10% of people in sales are the people that really go out there and crush it. And again, less than 5% of the people out there are actually doing this, and it's wanting to fail. You have a desire to fail. All right, you really want to fail and do it like that. The level four takes it even bigger. Level four is failing bigger and faster. So you're going out there and you're trying those big things and you're failing faster and faster. If you look at a person like a Babe Ruth, he was a baseball player who had tons of hits, tons of home runs in his career, became a legend in the sport, but he also had more strikeouts than almost all the other players out there too. So he was always going big that way. There's a guy named Manny Ramirez who was a baseball player for the Boston Red Sox and LA Dodgers for a long time. And there was times where they had to tell him that he had struck out, because he wasn't concentrating on that. He was just always in there going for the big one, going for the swing, going for the hit. But yeah, there were times when he didn't even know that he had been struck out, and they had to tell him. They're like, look, you struck out. Again, his mindset was not focused in on the failures or the strikeouts or the no's, right? He was going for the big wins. And then level 5 is exponential failure, right? Exponential failure. And that's when you have a team of people underneath you failing, right? And just going out there and they're going for those no's. And when you have a culture based on that, it's a whole different ball game. And if you look at the top salespeople and you look at the top business people out there, they just went out there and they got a heck of a lot more no's than everybody else out there was willing to go through. Colonel Sanders is another great example of this, and he's the guy that's on the Kentucky Fried Chicken, all those billboards, the goatee and the white suit. He went out with his idea for his chicken recipe, and it was 2 years. It was just over 2 years before he got his first yes. And so he's going everywhere around in his car, telling people about his idea, and it wasn't for 2 years until he got that first yes. And hey, that idea took off. That idea eventually took off because he was committed. He was willing to take as many no's as he could. He was willing to fix his pitch. And then after he got that first yes, he was able to build on that success and big things happened, right? So that's what you want to go for. Go for the no's. Don't focus in on the yeses. Focus in on getting as many no's as you can, as fast as you can. So that is it. Like I said, conventional sales wisdom is almost always wrong, and they will almost never tell you to focus in on the nose. I'm telling you to go in there and focus in on the nose, and you're going to start breaking more sales records. This is Kerry Sullivan with another How to Kick Ass in Sales.com video. I will see you on the next one tomorrow. Bye-bye.